In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a high converting landing page in less than 30 minutes. If you're new here, my name is Jeff Adolfi. I'm a marketing consultant that helps realtors master paid ads. I do offer a one-on-one consulting service as well as done for you services. So if you're interested in that, then click the link down below. But without further ado, let's get right into the video. So this is the landing page that we're going to be replicating. So you see nice picture, headline, header, calendar, and then some social proof. Now, this is an actual full-blown website, so you see there's like different sections of the website, but we're only going to be creating this landing page as a funnel. So a funnel should only have one objective. So that's most likely going to be either booking a call using a calendar, or it's going to have a lead form. Those are the only two things you really want. So we're going to go with this, but really the only difference would be right here, this section. So as you can see, she's optimizing for an appointment, but you could just switch this calendar to a lead form and then just change some of the copy here just so that, it aligns with what you want. So if you have a lead form though, you should always be giving out some type of lead magnet. But yeah, this is what we're going to be doing. And I will be using Go High Level to create this funnel. This little talking widget right here, this is outside of the scope of this video because this is like a separate paid software. So we're not going to cover that, but we'll cover everything else. So this is Go High Level. It's an all-in-one platform. You can use it as a CRM. You see the contacts here. You can chat with people, messages, DMs, anything, emails even. You could create automations like workflows. So if I go into this, as soon as like a lead form gets submitted, you can send out SMS or emails, a drip campaign. So you can really do a lot of things with Go High Level. If you don't already have a CRM, then I would recommend it. But if not, you could just stick with whatever you're using. But yeah, in today's video, as you already know, we're going to be replicating that landing page. For me, I would go to the site section, then go to funnels, and then I could just create a new funnel. So for me, creating a funnel, we're going to start with a blank landing page. To start, I'm going to go with a section. The sections, rows, elements. So you're going to see what a section is. So the section is the broadest layer that you could have. So we're going to go with full width. So we have our section, and I'm going to start with the header right here where it has our name. So what we can do is in that section, I'm going to add a row with one column. And then you see, so we have the section in green, then you have the blue row, purple column. And within that column, you could add an element. So I'm going to put a headline. I'll just put my name. And then you see on the right-hand side, we could align it. So if I want on the left-hand side, right-hand side, or center, since we're replicating hers, I'm going to do it on the left-hand side. And then just put a little bit of padding so that's not all the way up on the left side. Yeah, so 40 is good. So she has a black background on her header. So if we want to do that, we would click on the section, then go to background color. Just put it as black. Well, hers is not completely black. It's like a really, really dark gray. So let's adjust that to like this. Add color. Okay, so that's a little bit better. Now here, so her first name, Alexa, is yellow, and then the second part is white. So if I wanted to do that, I'll go to bold text and then switch to white. But we see that everything changed. So what we can do is we can leave my first name bolded and my last name, I'll unbold it. So you see it just changed colors. I'll make my last name white and then my first name, which is bold text, yellow. So we have this. And if we want to, make the header a little slimmer, we could, cut down the padding a little bit. So this is good. We could even go to 0 if we wanted to on both ends. And then that's it for our header. Now comes the rest of the funnel. So we're going to make this all one section. Just hover over the green right here. That's kind of hard because I took away the padding. I could just add it right here. If I wanted to go back to section, do full width. So you see we have that. And let's just change the background color. So her background's not completely white. It's like a really light gray. So we're going to aim for that. Let's add a little bit of color to it. It's not exactly the same, but this should do. So now we're going to start with the headline. So let me add a one column row. Now, if we wanted to add like, if we did something like 4 columns, we would see we have 4 different sections. But since we're doing just that first headline, we're going to do a 1 column headline. And then we could add subheadline. And now we could adjust the font. So I don't want this to be that big. So let's see. 15 is good for this. And then this could stay at 32. Yeah, 30 is good. So, we have that. And then now we want the side-by-side picture with the calendar. So what we can do is we can add another row, but now we can make it 2 columns. So right here is going to be the picture. So I'll just pick a picture of myself. So I have my picture on the left-hand side, but she has her picture with a little caption under. So what we can do is this blue part, this 2 column row right here, what we can do is we can just add an element within one of the columns. So what I'm going to do is I'll add it as a paragraph. I'll just copy what she has. So now within this column, this purple one right here, within this first column, we have 2 elements. First element, the image. Second element, the paragraph, which we're using as the caption. Now for the calendar, she's using Calendly right here. She's using Calendly. I also personally use Calendly. So all I have to do is go into my Calendly account and then just get the embed code. So I'm going to do that right now. As you can see, this is my Calendly. I go to one of my event types. You go to share if you have Calendly. Whatever you use for your calendar, there should be an embed link. So for me, I just go to add to website, inline embed, continue, and then just copy the code. And then here, and then here, I'm going to add custom code. So go to code right here, open the editor, and just paste my embed code. So you're not going to see it. I would have to preview it for you. So let's go to preview. So this is what we have so far. So you see my image taking a while to load, but on the right hand side, you have the calendar. Okay, there we go. So you have the calendar, and obviously we would play around with the sizing. I would get into the code to make sure it's somewhat even with the picture. But yeah, that's something we could clean up later on. So now we have that. Now we're going on to the next section. She has like this little arrow icon. So what we can do is add something similar. I don't have that exact icon, but I'm going to add a 1 column row. And then I will add an image. So I have this. I'll just adjust the size. 30 is good. So now I have this section, and then this is pretty much our divider. Or if you don't want to use an arrow, what you can do is you can just add a divider. So you can just add a line as well, a long black line. So you see right here. So either one works. I'll stick with the arrow, and then I will add another 1 column row to add this quote. Let's adjust the font. And then for the name, I'll add it as a subheadline. Let me actually change the background color. It's a little too yellow for my liking. Okay, this is accurate. This is much closer to what she has. We have our main section with either our calendar or our lead form if you want that, our divider, our quote, and then she goes into a picture with a little introduction. So I'll add another 1 column row. And for our element this time, Go High Level has I think it's image feature. Yes. So similar setup to what she had. I'll add another picture, and then you just add in whatever you want right here. I really do like her landing page, and it doesn't have to be anything too crazy. So when you're running ads, you just really need a basic landing page. So something like this would be really good. Make sure you have like a clear call to action, book a call, or submit your information to get an ebook checklist. For her, the only thing I would add is she has her calendar up here. I would also add it under here. She doesn't have it down here. So I would add it in both sections just so they have the option up here And then after all that scrolling, especially on mobile, they could also book down here. I'm going to add that towards the end. Yeah, so we have our image feature. And then if you have any press features, you can add that here. So now we want to add I think hers has a 5 column row. So for these, we want them to be, you wouldn't want them to have a background. So you could either use a PNG for the logo or an SVG, because you see how, it's just Yahoo Finance and then the background is just the actual background color. So you don't want your logo to have a background. So just keep that in mind. So I'm just adding this clip in to show you how the SVG thing works. So if you want a logo to match the background, it's recommended that you have it in SVG format. So we're going to use Yahoo Finance as an example. So just go to, Google, put in whatever logo you want, and then put in SVG. And then you want to make sure that you're actually downloading the SVG format. So I'm going to go with this one right here, this link. I'm going to click on download. And then I'm going to make sure I'm going with the SVG option. Now, once you have that, go back to where you want to add your press release or whatever logo it is. Here on Go High Level, they have an SVG element. Then I'm going to add the logo I just downloaded and upload it here. Okay, we see the Yahoo Finance SVG. So now we have it. And then what we can do is we can edit it. So if we go to Open SVG Editor, we can change the color. So click on the logo. We could make it gray. She had it as kind of a darker gray. She had it maybe like this. Add color. Save it. So you see, hers is a bit darker, but you kind of get the idea. So you can just play around with the colors and then make sure all of them have the same color. So that's all you have to do if you want to add, logos that blend in, and you can just change the color to whatever you want. So yeah, pretty straightforward, and that's all you have to do. And one thing about hers though is that on mobile, this is scrollable. So right here is just like fixed, but if you wanted it to be scrollable on mobile, let's see, if we go to mobile, you see they're just stacked on top of each other. But what you could do is, if you wanted it on mobile to be scrollable, at least with Go High Level, they have image slider. So you see something like this, you could scroll. And then if you wanted it to be really slim, you just change the height. So for mobile, you would have it like this. So it's good to, once you complete your landing page on the desktop, you also want to adjust it for mobile. Because if we go to mobile, maybe there's some things you might not want, or sometimes the padding might be off, or the positioning, stuff like that. So it's always good to make sure your landing page is mobile friendly, because that's where most of the traffic is going to be coming from. So I don't have any press features, so I'm just going to leave this as is. Now if we go back, we'll put another headline, 1 column row, adjust the font. And then from here, we just add our client pictures. And then you could add another 3 column row to put even more pictures. And then, like I said, with the calendar, at the end, I'd want to give them another chance to book a call with me or submit their information. So at the bottom, I would put some code and then embed my calendar like so. So that's the general structure of it. Something like this is more than enough when you're running ads. I always recommend going to a landing page instead of using on-platform lead form in the case of Facebook. With YouTube ads, you have to use a landing page. As of me making this video, they don't even have on-platform lead forms. So this is really good. Make sure your lead form or calendar is up pretty high so that, they don't really have to scroll too much for it. If possible, you wouldn't want them to scroll for it at all. That's the most ideal case. We call that having it above the fold. So right here, you see, we'd have to scroll for it just a little bit. So what you can do is maybe for mobile, you can adjust the positioning. So in the case of mobile, I'd click on this. I'd probably click on this whole first column right here. And then on the right hand side, advanced, where it says visibility, I would uncheck the mobile so that, if they come to this landing page on their phone, they would see this header section and then it'll just only be the calendar. Whereas if they come on a computer where we have more real estate to work with, it's okay to leave that picture in because the calendar is still above the fold because obviously the screen's bigger. But when you're dealing with less screen space, you really have to pick and choose what you want to show, at least for above the fold. Anything below that could just remain the same. And then just have that calendar link or lead form at the bottom. So that's pretty much it for this landing page. Something like this is definitely more than enough to get you up and running when running paid ads. For me personally, I would just stick with a funnel. A full-blown website is really not needed. Just have funnels, different funnels, one objective. That's what I do. I could have a funnel for direct booking, like so, like this one. And then I could also have a separate funnel for my lead magnet or with a lead form. So only have one objective per funnel. And yeah, that's all you really need. Have your social proof and you'll be good to go. And also, one thing, whether you're doing direct booking like this or you have a lead form to get their contact information, you always want to direct them to a thank you page. So, in the case of the direct booking, since they're already booking here, on the thank you page, you could have a video on there. You could also have a survey, and you could make the survey a little bit longer because they already booked the call. So, if they feel like the survey is a little bit too long, at the very least, they're still going to hop on a call with you. Whereas if you had a longer survey first, they might not ever get to the booking, which is not what you want. With a direct booking funnel, have a thank you page with a survey to get additional information and probably like an introduction video just setting expectations. But if you start with a lead form on this page, the thank you page should have the calendar so that they can book a call with you. Once you have all the sections that you need, you can then go back and play around with the font, padding, spacing, things like that. So I just went back and cleaned this up a little bit, the spacing. So to get this calendar aligned with the picture, I just went into the embed code. I went to hide event type details. And what that is this is here on the left hand side right here. So above it would say strategy call above the date and time, but I just took that out just to make it slimmer. And then I went in and where it says 700 right there, I went into the custom code and made it 500 just to make it a little bit shorter. So you could do something like that. Just play around with it until you get the padding right so it could look a little more uniform. You could make this using any software, any funnel builder. I just use Go High Level because I like everything else that you can do with it. The automations, DMs, text message, emails, all that stuff. So one more thing I want to mention, which is really important and something that you should be doing, is split testing. So if I go back, so you see right here, you can split test different variations of your funnel. Preview the page. So we have this basic page, right? You always want to make sure to preview your page just so you make sure everything's like aligned and spaced correctly. But yeah, so we have this, right? We can create a variation. So once we can create a second variation and then split the traffic 50-50. So let's say if we have a lead form on our page and we're running ads to it, we're running like paid traffic to it. 50% of the people that click on the ad will go to variation 1, then the other 50% will go to variation 2. So this will help us to see, which one is performing better. So you always want to make sure you're split testing. Then once we have a winner, we can say like, for example, variation 2 is the winner, and we go with that, and then we continue to split test. So, this is really helpful when running paid ads because you're getting a lot more traffic, as opposed to organic. So that's just something I wanted to add in. But yeah, hopefully that helped, and I'll see you in the next one.